Hey, welcome to Wealthy Church. Man, I am so glad that you decided to connect up with us. I'm telling you, I'm expecting some incredible things to happen to me in 2023, and I am expecting incredible things to happen in your life. I want you to open up this new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Today is January 8th. We're starting a new year on the 8th day here, right? And 8 is the number of new beginnings. Listen, I'm going to share with you 2 words that you're going to need to succeed in 2023 and beyond. Just 2 words, man. If you can get these 2 words down, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be a game changer, not only for your year, but for the next decade of your life. Come on in and join us. I'm so excited about Wealthy Church this year as we gather here every single Sunday at 9 a.m. We got some cool things on the docket for us throughout the year. I'm going to start bringing in some guests, and we're going to be doing some new and fresh things with Wealthy Church that I really believe that you're going to like and that you're going to enjoy. So here we go, and I want to start off the year just thanking everybody, man. Thank you so much. Those of you who give on a regular basis and sow seed into Wealthy Church to support what we're doing to get this unique message out, right? To empower God's people to be more, do more, and have more. and you can't help more people unless you have more. You can't have more unless you start doing more, and you can't do more unless you become something more of who you are today. So let's get with it. Let's get right into our time together, and I'm so excited. I'm just going to say hi to a couple people. Hey everybody. Hey, all of those of you who are jumping in. Good to see all of you. Good to see all of you. I'm sorry, actually, it's so small I can't see the names. But hey, let's jump right into today's message. It's going to be. Today's message is going to really, I believe this is like not just a message. I believe this is a real prophetic word for a lot of people here today. So let's start. Let's get on the move. Hey, you only need 2 words to succeed this year. That's right. And you're going to need to tattoo these 2 words on your mind and inside of your subconscious so that you can not just survive, but you can thrive this year. See, I believe God doesn't want you just to barely get by and barely make it. I believe God wants you to thrive. But here's one of the problems that all of us face, is that people think more than they do. People think more than what they actually do. So a lot of people get paralyzed by overanalyzation. They experience, I think about it. And the thought comes, it comes in January, it comes in February, it comes in July, it comes in December. And I've been thinking, but they never end up doing. And here's what I want to challenge you with here today. The solution to shifting your life. Because all of us, as we start a new year, as we even start new days and new weeks and new months, right? We start thinking like, okay, what do I need to do? We start thinking about it. You start looking at your life and say, okay, where do I want my finances to be? What about my relationships? And how about my health? And we basically, those three areas, right? We start looking at, okay, I want to grow closer to God. Check. I know I need to be healthier. I know I'm not eating right. I know I need to exercise. Check. My relationships. Well, I know my relationship with my spouse, or my relationship with my kids, or relationship with a family member, relationship with people at work, or whatever. I know I need some improvement in some sort of relationship somewhere. Or maybe I just need a relationship. Maybe I'm single and I need a relationship. So I want change, my walk with God. I want change with my health. I want change with my relationships. Man, I need change with my money. I can tell that things are not going to get cheaper. My future is going to be more expensive, and I'm going to need some changes in my money. Now, I want you to think about this, because every single year, especially around the first of the year, we start thinking about these things. And you know what? Most people set goals, right, for the new year, and they don't even make it to the first day. It's a proven statistic. They set a goal and they don't even start. Now, it's interesting. Before I give you your 2 words, it's interesting. This little story about these lepers. And when you read about it in 2 Kings chapter 7, you'll find that there's like this huge famine in the land. I mean, you think it's negative because of the price of gas. You think there's negativity because the price of eggs and food and all this kind of stuff. But I want to show you something here that you'll be like, what? When you start reading the story about the situation that these 4 lepers were in, these 4 lepers were in a time when the famine was so bad that, man, they're eating each other. I mean, that's pretty bad, right? I mean, are you serious? Yeah, it was so terrible they started boiling each other and eating each other to survive. And it's interesting because what you find in 2 Kings chapter 7 verse 3, it says, now there were 4 lepers, let me read that, let me get that again. 2 Kings chapter 7 verse 3, it says, now there were 4 leprous men at the entrance gate, and they said to one another, so get this picture, big famine, there's 4 leprous men. They were lepers were considered outcast. They're sitting around a gate, talking, thinking. That's what drives me nuts about spiritual people. They talk, they think, and think, and think, and they talk about their strategies, and they talk about their theology. You know, they got theology on the mind, but no actionology. But they talk about it. They talk about how they're going to change the world, talk about how they're going to make a difference in the marketplace. They talk, and they talk, and they think, and they talk, and they think, and they talk. Big talk. Boy, they talk big. And so here's these guys. There's 4 lepers. It's really bad. They're sitting around the gate. And this is the picture that we get. And it's bad. I mean, these guys, not only are they facing a famine, they also have disease. I mean, and they're like considered like scum. And then here's the statement that one of them makes. One of them. He says, why are we sitting here until we die? Wow. Why are we sitting here until we die? Thinking, pontificating, strategizing, shooting the breeze, watching TV, playing video games, watch another football game, watch another basketball game, watch another one of our series, and Dr. Phil, watch him fix everybody. Because we like to see somebody else's life get fixed, but don't bring that stuff towards me. And here they are, they're like, we're going to just sit here till we die? And here's your 2 words. Here's your 2 words to succeed this year. 1 step. 1 step. That's the 2 words. And you got to say something to yourself. You got to say, all right, here I am. There's a piece of my life that I am not happy with and I want to change. And you got to make a decision to take 1 step now. Now. And that's the key. These men made a decision. They're like, if we keep doing what we keep doing, the end is not good. I would rather take action and die than sit and take no action and exist. You see, my friend, there's like 3 kinds of, I would call it like, there's like 3 modes that people are in life. It's like mode number 1 is the maintenance mode, where you're just, right, you're just keep putting out fires. It's like you keep getting one crisis after the next crisis after the next crisis. And so you have to keep putting out fires all the time. And that's exhausting. That's tiring, like over and over and over again. It never changes. When's it going to stop? I got one negative situation hit my life after the next, and they just live in, I got to go fix this. I got to go fix this. I got to go fix this. A lot of leaders do that. The other one is maintenance. Maintenance is just where I'm just maintaining everything. I'm just in this situation where if I could just keep what I have and maintain where we're at, that's called the comfort zone. It's called the comfort zone. These lepers at the gate, people, the reason why they sat on the gate is because it's people coming in and out. People coming in and out. They're lepers. Oh, I feel sorry for them. Hey, here's $1. Here's some money. Here's a bag lunch of food. Now they don't have no food. Now they're like, uh-oh, we're in famine. Ain't nobody giving us no food because they don't have any food. They're boiling their kids and eating their kids. They're in a comfort zone. They were in a comfort zone. Right? Because they were just maintaining. The third mode is momentum. Getting momentum back. When you're in momentum is like, man, things are happening for me. Momentum, you can tell just the pickup of my voice. Momentum, there's energy, there's excitement, there's joy. There's something going on in my life. I can see some things happening in my life. I may not be where I want to be, but I'm not where I was. And I see progress. My life is moving forward. You see, my friend, these 4 lepers made a decision. Life change happens in the moment of decisions. And life changes at the speed of your decisions. Life doesn't happen by thinking. People say knowledge is power. No, knowledge is not power. Knowledge applied is power. So life change, there has to be a decision. We got to take a first step. I can't just sit here. And I see this so many times with like spiritual people. They're like, well, I'm just going to pray to God and God's just going to turn my finances around. I'm just going to pray to God and God will just send me a relationship. I'm just going to pray to God and boing, my health is going to be better, but I'm not going to exercise. I'm not going to eat right. I'm asking you to sit down and say, wait a minute, time out. God gave me power. God gave me authority in the earth, the ability to act, the ability to take a first step. And I'm telling you, it's required. If you want to see life change, you can go to church Monday through Sunday. You can live in church. You can pray. You can fast. You can quote scriptures. You can confess the Bible. I'm going to make a positive affirmation today. You can do all of that stuff, but confession without action is delusional. And this one man, there's something about this one guy, he came to himself. It's like the prodigal son. He was sitting there in the hog pen, and the Bible says he came to himself. I got to do something. I got to get up on out of here. I got to take a step away. Now here's the thing, right? I must take a step, and then providence moves. It's not, and providence means God's dealings in my future. It's not, wait, I'm going to wait for God to move, and then I'm going to move. That's not how it works, my friend. I'm sorry. That's not faith. I love James because James says faith without works is dead. See, I believe that God is asking you to do some really big things. I believe that God is asking His people to come out of their comfort zone, come out of maintenance mode. And some of you have been like a bear that goes into hibernation. It's like since 2020 with COVID, it's like some of you are like, you don't even realize it. You're like in this maintenance mode. That's what a bear does. It just goes into maintenance, maintaining. It gets caught up. It gets comfortable. It stays in its, down in the ground, whatever they do. I don't know what they do. But there's no action. It's just maintaining to get by until the season passes. God wants to do some incredible things, but He needs you to take a first step, because once you take the first step, that's when God's going to move on your behalf. I remember when I was building our new house, first time I've ever built a new house before in my whole life. I had no idea what was going on. And the interesting thing about this, right, is like we had a desire, we had a goal. My wife and I, we had a dream. And so here we were. We were in our old house, but we had a dream of building this new house with my studio in it. And we were tired of living in a gated community. and nobody mowing their grass right. And we just got frustrated with everything that was going on. We're like, man, we want to get out of here. And what some of you need to realize is some of the frustration that you're experiencing in life is like God's trying to get you out of your comfort zone of your nest. And everything in my mind said, oh man, that's going to be so much work. I just want to stay here. You know, it's comfortable here. I know here. But there was also a lot of unknown. I had never done this before. And that's the big thing, right? With all of us. Here, we're here, but we want to be here. And so there's the gap between where we are, where we want to go. And that gap, there's one word in between the gap. Fear. You're scared. Fear is going to cause you to stay where you are. It's going to cause you to say, I'm going to stay by these gates, like these 4 lepers. This has been the place we've been fed for a long time. I'm going to stay by these gates. And maybe if we wait a little longer, maybe things will change and people will come back by, start feeding us and giving us money again. But I was like, no, we've got to make a move. And what I kept hearing was, hey, Keith, I want you to progress. I don't want you to stay the same. I don't want you to remain where you're at. I want your life to progress and to move forward. And so I believe God was asking me to take a step. What was the first step? I'm like, well, how are we going to do this? Well, the first step was, all right, I got to find a piece of property. So I started looking for a piece of property. That was what? That was the first step. I can't build a house unless I have land to build it on. So I took the first step. I said, all right, I'm going to start looking for a piece of property. I took the first step. See, once you take the first step, then providence moves on your behalf. And here's a really cool thing. I'm sitting down in the Bahamas, chilling out by the pool with the turquoise waters, palm trees, sunglasses, enjoying myself with my wonderful wife. And I look on my cell phone and a piece of property right in the area that I wanted to be in. Because if you ever come and visit me, I live on this road, and in our area that we live in, there's a road that is actually between 2 very busy roads. And one road is called Highway 50. It has like everything imaginable. I mean, it has everything that all the chain restaurants, everything. It's just right along that road. And so literally if you live on this road, you're literally right around the corner. It takes you like 3 minutes to get to everything, or 5 minutes at the most to get to everything. It's close, but yet you kind of feel like, you're not right on top of everybody. You have a sense of peace and tranquility. And so there's this strip on this road. There's some bad houses like they're just kind of like run down. And then you got a strip where you have like some of the most wealthiest people in our city that build like these like huge houses. And we're like, we want to be right there. we want to be right in that area. And this piece of property was right there. And first of all, I was just shocked that there was even a piece of property there for sale. The next thing I was like, wow, that's 1.5 acres. I was trying to, my wife and I were like, we want to reduce the amount of yard work. We want smaller yard, not bigger. And then we ended up going bigger. But anyways, I made the move. I see it. And I looked at that and I said, whoa, wait a minute. That piece of property is worth at least 100,000 plus. And I looked at the price, and the price was half of that. I'm like, you got to be kidding. Woo, step number one, look. Step number two, got my agent. Make a long story short, bam, I bought the property. And then guess what? The Lord provided all the money for us so that we could pay cash for the property. Cash for the property. We owned it free and clear right away. And what I started to realize was, wow, in a lot of ways we think we're waiting on God, but we don't realize that God is waiting on us. We got to take the first step, then God moves. Look at this with these guys. They said, are we going to sit here till we die? If we say we will enter the city, the famine is in the city, and we shall die there. If we sit here, we will die also. Now, therefore, come, let us surrender to the army of the Syrians. If they keep us alive, we shall live. And if they kill us, we will only die. It's like, what do we got to lose, right? We go in the city, it's famine, we die. We say here, we die. At least we can go to the Syrian army, and they'll maybe say, oh, I'll take you as a prisoner and feed you. But they're still lepers. And then in verse 5 it says, and they rose at twilight to go to the camp of the Syrians. And when they had come to the outskirts of the Syrian camp, to their surprise, no one was there. Oh. And when you read this story, you find out that when they moved, God moved. And as they went to the camp, God on their behalf confused the Syrians, and they thought a bunch of chariots, like a big army, was rushing up on them. And when they heard this noise of this big army coming after them, the story goes, they just left. They said, man, we're out of here. They left everything. They left their money. They left their clothes. They left possessions. They left food. And here's these four guys, right? Here's these four guys. Because I've been talking about that God will lift you. God lifts the poor. God lifts the needy out of the dunghill. I've been talking about elevation. And here comes these guys. They walk in and they go from, beggars to now everything they want. Everything they want is in the camp. They start going in like, wow, check all this out. And they had so much they felt guilty. Like, oh, we better go tell the king about what happened here. And I want you to hear this. I believe that God has some surprises for you this year. God has something special for you this year. But He needs you to make the first step. And guess what? It's going to take confidence. Yes, see, some of you think in your mind. Here we go. Here you go. You ready? Some of you think in your mind that you're stuck. You think, we can't do nothing. It's over. But I want you to hear me. You're not stuck. You just lack a little bit of knowledge. You lack some skills. You got to get new skills. New knowledge, new skills will create what? New actions. And finally, you need a dose of confidence. That's all you need. You're not stuck. You just need some confidence to take the first step. And then God, just like these four lepers, then God's going to move for you. And some surprises are going to come your way. Providence doesn't move twiddling your thumbs. Providence doesn't move until you move. Moses, stretch your rod. The Red Sea parts. I'm going to leave you with this quote. One step this year in the right direction is worth 100 years of thinking about it. Say that again. One step in the right direction is worth 100 years of thinking about it, praying about it. It's time to take one step. No matter what that step is, it's time to take the step. It's time to make our moves. God is asking you to take a bold move. Now is the time. Don't put it off. I'm going to do it next month. Maybe. I'm considering. Go for it. I remember why we were building the house with everything that goes on. If you ever build a house, I mean, the price they quote you is never the same. I didn't know that when I went into it. And all this stuff was going on, and they didn't factor in this. All this going to cost you this much money. Oh, now this, you got to have this. Oh, wow. We didn't give you enough money for grass. On 1.5 acres, $40,000 just in grass. Yeah, I said that. $40,000 in grass. Crazy. But here we are, we're in the middle of this build, all this crazy stuff is going on. And the land next door to us, 5 acres. I'm like, I'd like to own that piece of property. I'd like to control that piece of property. I made the first step. The first step, what's the first step? I looked up who owned it. I researched the lady's name. She was an old lady. And I called and I contacted them. I said, hey, if you ever want to sell that piece of property, let me know. Oh, not right now. We're not interested. That's Mama's property. Well, during COVID, Mama passed away. And I got a call from the daughter. We're willing to sell it. I'm like, how much you want for it? They told me the price. And I'm sitting here going, wait a minute. I'm in the middle of building a house. And now, here's this piece of property that I have an opportunity to buy. And when they put a sign on the front, it's gone. That property will be gone. As soon as they list it, gone. What did I do? Took the first step. I said, no, I'm in takeover mode. I'm not going to be in maintenance mode. I'm just going to maintain it. I am in possess the land mode. And I figured it out. Once I said yes, the how-to came, and I figured it out. And now that piece of property has now quadrupled. I made quadruple my money on this piece of property. And the future of it is just going to continue to go up, 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 up. When it's all said and done, I'll make 10 times my money on this piece of property next door. First step, then God moves. Excuse me. Hope you enjoyed this day. So let me ask you, what have you been thinking about? What have you been twiddling your hands and saying, oh, well, I'm waiting on God for this. I'm waiting on God for that. I'm waiting on God for this. Well, the single person says, well, I hope God sends me a husband. or a wife this year? Like, well, are you anywhere where people can see you? I mean, through the internet now, you have ways to connect with people, for someone to see you. If nobody ever sees you, if you don't make some steps, if you just say here, well, God, just send me somebody. If you're not being seen, how's anybody going to see you? You got to go to places, go to church, go, I have some friends, went on a dating site. Hey, and wonderful couple, great couple, met on a dating site. I've also seen some bad situations, but hey. but the principle is, man, you got to take a first step. You got to do something. You might have to show yourself friendly. Go introduce yourself. You got to take a first step. Go sign up at the gym if it's health issues. You got to take a first step. Hey, I need to make more money. Take a first step. Become an author, speaker, coach, consultant. Take a first step. And then you figure it out. We get so many people because I mentor people, 10 to 12 people every quarter. Oh man, I want to do that. Well, good. Take the first step. Oh, I know how much it costs. I don't have the money. See, that's the problem with you. That's the problem with you. You won't take the first step. I said, just fill out the application. Oh, but I know how much it costs. So you're trying to figure out how much it costs before you take the first step. It's like me saying I'm not going to look on the internet because right now I don't have the $100,000 to buy that piece of property. I don't have it. That property, I know where how much those properties cost over there, and I don't have $100,000 for it. So I'm not going to do nothing. All of a sudden, I took a first step, and it wasn't $100,000, it was $50,000 or $55,000, something like that. I'm like, wow. And once I took the first step, I got my realtor, got them going on it, got the price taken down a little bit. Ooh, he wrote a contract that gave me more time to do my due diligence. I'm doing my due diligence and working to get some money for it. See? And bam, 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 one step at a time. So one step in the right direction is worth 1,000 years of thinking about it. It's time to do something. I hope you've enjoyed this. I want you to look at your life and I want you to say, what is my next step? What is just the one little thing I can do? And have confidence. The bottom line is this. The man who has more, the man who does more, and the man or woman who helps more people is a man or a woman who does more. It's the bottom line. It doesn't matter whether you're saved or unsaved. You're a follower of Christ or you're Muslim. It makes no difference. Take action and take the first step. And providence is going to move for you. God bless you. If you enjoyed this, post down below. Subscribe to our YouTube channel over on YouTube. Just hit the subscribe button. And we love to hear from you. Just post down below. Share this video. Share this time together. You know you got some people in your life that need to hear this message. So all you got to do is hit the share button. Don't just be a consumer. Be a contributor. And you contribute by hitting the share button, right? We spread the word by hitting the share button. So do that. Finally, it's the first of the year. I want to challenge you to sow a seed. And this sentence right here is life-changing on the top. Seeds change seasons. Seeds change seasons. If you want some financial changes in your life, you got to sow seed. Financial seed. If you want relationship changes in your life, you got to sow relationship seeds. You got to contribute to the relationship. You got to send texts. You got to make phone calls. You got to tell them you love them. You got to contribute. It's not one person gives 100, you just take. It's, man, if I want relationships with people, I got to do something. I got to pick up that phone. I got to do that text. I got to do something. If you show yourself friendly, you're going to reap friends. Your whole life is a seed. What are you sowing? And what you sow for is what grows in your life. If you need more money, you need to sow seed. So I want to challenge you to go to wealthychurch.com. Get seed in the soil as we begin this new year on the 8th day. Get seed into the soil. I want to challenge you to do something that you've never done before. I want to challenge you to sow at $1,000 level. Get $1,000 seed. When Solomon's life change was when he sowed 1,000 offerings. It's an interesting study. And that's when God came to him and said, Solomon, ask for whatever you want. And he said, I'll take wisdom. But that was on the heels of him sowing 1,000 offerings. Interesting. I want to challenge you to sow 100. I want to challenge you to get behind us. Some of you, just get behind us. You enjoy these teachings. You listen to these teachings. Don't just consume, contribute. We're believing for 300 partners to support us at $20 a month, $100 a month, $500 a month. Whatever it is, to get behind us and consistently sow. wealthychurch.com, paypal.com, and Cash App at Dr. Keith Johnson, or call 352-597-8775. And we want to thank you. All those of you who sow, thank you so much. God bless all of you. So glad that you joined us today. Make sure you share this one. God bless. Bye-bye.